Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are looking at the topic of how women are losing their femininity. Women are often told that they need to be strong, independent, and powerful, but sometimes they can lose sight of what it means to be a woman. Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's get into it.
Modern feminists are literally the destruction of women's rights. You think you gotta compete with men to be equal? I don't need a man, I'm strong, I make my own money, I'm a boss bitch. That's not true. We are literally single-handedly destroying our feminine superpowers. We gotta learn to embrace who we are and understand that the balance between men and women is what creates real strength. We all have a role to play to make a balanced society. Women are trying to fight and compete with men is like a goldfish trying to fight a shark. It's illogical and biologically impossible. Let's accept our nature and accept our differences. We gotta embrace our softness, our nurturing side, our intuition. If a man knows he's responsible and he doesn't abuse that power, and when a woman truly embraces her qualities, they're a powerhouse. They're absolutely unstoppable. Behind every great man is an even better woman. We all want a strong man. You can deny it all you like, but deep down, this is what every woman wants.
One thing I noticed too about just dealing with women in America too is just like they're so borderline domineering, trying to control everything when I'm with them, and I'm just like, yo, like, are you trying to emasculate me? Like, are you aware of what you're doing? Like, do people are people tolerate this? Like, I call them out. I'm like, maybe it's your first time, but this is not working. Like, you need to know your place when you're talking to a guy like me.
Do you think they don't know though?
They
have
really
they
don't.
lost touch?
They have lost touch.
I realized that femininity is becoming a forgotten concept, especially when I was teaching students. I remember when I first started teaching students, they were very feminine. And then over the course of a few years, they got more and more, they started to see a femininity as a defect. They started to see being nurturing, kind, caring, considerate, compassionate, all these beautiful traits of femininity. They started to see that as a weakness. And I was wondering where it was coming from. And I think a lot of it is to do with the education system. It kind of makes, especially with English teaching, they teach you a lot about female empowerment. Yes. But in the process of female empowerment, they see it as rejection of femininity and rejection of nurture and rejection of gender roles. But I find that gender roles are what makes us beautiful. It makes us essential. If I do everything a man does, he no longer needs me and I no longer need him. And life is about connections.
See, when a woman is let down by her father, when a woman is let down by the man that was supposed to take care of her, the man that was supposed to hold her, the man that was supposed to protect her, she immediately goes into her guarding. And guess who becomes the man in her life? She does. Because the story and the energy and the frequency that she lives in is no man will ever hurt me again. Which, listen, nothing right or wrong about this. The problem is that the heart can never open that way. Because in honesty, true love is vulnerability. True love is allowing. True love is opening.
If a man said these things I'm about to say, he'd be crucified. But I'm a woman, so let's talk. All you hear about is toxic masculinity, but what about toxic femininity? It gets glamorized. Modern feminism has taught women to be exactly everything that they hate in men. Emotionally unavailable, selfish, prideful, lack of accountability. I mean, y'all already know accountability is like a woman's kryptonite, and I could say that wholeheartedly because I've been that woman. Men are taught, step up, be leaders, be men, be protectors, be providers. And then it's like women are told you deserve more, no matter how you act. I mean, we say we want accountability, unless it's only for men. And if the woman's the problem, we just call it trauma. Be patient with her. It's trauma. If a man is considered the problem, we call it abuse. Now, I'm not saying some of that is not true in some cases, so don't flip my words. And I'm sorry, ladies, but the toxic dating culture is not trash because of men. It's trash because people nowadays lack conviction, they lack integrity. I mean, y'all wanted equality until it came with consequences. Y'all have a blessed day. Jesus is king.
Most women are men in skirts, meaning that the way their presence, their being, the way we roll in the world, it's very masculine because we've been conditioned and programmed out of our feminine. And when I say, I don't mean feminist movement in the world, I want to be a fireman or football player. I'm talking about, I'm talking about how to be a woman in your being. It's a problem, first of all, because the feminine presence is missing on this planet. That's why we got so much hoopla and conflagration going on with the weather, with the politics. And we've also been taught and trained that our softness is inappropriate, it's dangerous. Our emotions are inappropriate, and you know, nobody wants to be bothered with that. So where do we go with that? How do we know? If a woman knew that her greatest power was silence, that's her greatest power, because then she can hear. But we run our mouth all the time, talking about everything. Stillness. If a woman really understands and knows who she is, she can walk in a room and take control of every man in the room. How she walks, how she sits, how she talks, how she be. We don't know how to be women.
Oftentimes, women that are innately feminine in relationships will take on more of a masculine energy role and really just feel more comfortable being in control all the time and taking charge all the time and taking the initiative most of the time. Even though it's draining and they don't actually want to be doing it, it feels more comfortable, it's more in your comfort zone, it's safer, because if you gave up control, you'd have to face what's actually going on under the surface, how maybe you don't actually feel worthy of receiving the treatment that you want in a relationship, how you don't feel safe relying on other people and receiving from them. You feel like they'll disappoint you, or so on and so forth. And that's what you have to confront in order to step into your highest level of being in relationship, where you get to be in your feminine energy and you get to be radiant and you get to be really, really well loved by a masculine partner.
That happens a lot of time with women. They get into these relationships where the guy is not a good leader and then they feel like they have to. That's where this tough, independent woman comes from, because she's never been led properly. A lot of women think that that's the role they need to play, but you lose your femininity.
Why aren't some women feeling feminine in their marriages? Let's get into it. Some women are doing what they call the double shift. They are expected to contribute 50% or more to the finances, also taking on the traditional feminine roles, all of them, the lion's share of the household responsibilities, and being the primary caregiver of the children. A lot of women at this point do not feel as feminine because they're taking on both masculine and feminine roles in the relationship. Again, in front of this, there needs to be communication. Honest communication about what are the expectations of gender roles when they get into the marriage or long-term relationship. A lot of women are choosing men for the wrong reason. They just want to be married to be married, and choosing a spouse on more superficial things instead of what we need to be looking at. We first need to be having an honest conversation about what our roles are going to be like before we get into this relationship. We need to be looking at character, value, work ethic. Is he ambitious? Does he lead his life well? Is he a leader? Is he a man of integrity? Will he be a good father? Is he a good father to the kids he already has? All of these things are important. A lot of this can be solved by having honest communication and choosing men for the right reasons, based on the right factors.
All I see is women complaining about not being able to find a man that is chivalrous. He can open doors for them and pull out their chairs and take them on nice experiences and buy them nice presents. All I hear and see are women complaining about that. Well, that's a two-way street. Then learn how to clean, learn how to, be loving, take care of your man. Make sure that you're taking care of him enough that he can do these things for you. And women nowadays, they want to do whatever they want to do. They don't want to take care of a man. They don't want to take care of anyone. They just want to chill, watch their TV shows, do whatever they want to do, and then expect a man to do everything for them. You cannot be a low-quality woman and expect a high-quality man.
Am I the only one that feels guilty about themselves because I'm nowhere as feminine as the women are on social media? Because I feel like I've definitely noticed it, that the popular women on here just are so feminine, and like understanding beauty is natural to them. I never experienced that ever, because I almost feel that like there is a certain aesthetic that women have, not all women, but like a majority of women, that I was never taught. And it's exhausting being a woman who doesn't feel womanly. And I feel like I always knew that about myself, but like I never felt it nearly as much as I did until social media arose and I started doing social media and seeing the rise of get ready with me videos and makeup videos and skin tutorials and hair tutorials and shaving tutorials, which I can appreciate watching those videos, but also like it makes me feel so horrible about myself that I don't know those things, that I don't know the things that women know.
Hey, wanted to mention one thing about trauma in case it helps anybody, because I don't know if it's super common knowledge or not, but you can, if you're a woman and you've gone through something traumatic, you can lose your femininity after trauma. Trauma kind of has a way of making you feel ugly and unworthy, and you go into survival mode when you go through something traumatic. So you like tap into this hypervigilance and masculine and independent state. And so learning how to like flirt again and feel really feminine is something that's been an ongoing battle for me as part of my healing process. And I just saw the cutest freaking guy at HEB where I live in Austin, and he kind of flirted with me, I think. I don't know. I was getting some kale and I was feeling up all the kale, and I didn't really like any of them. And I'm just standing there analyzing the kale. He's like, comes over and he's like, oh, do none of them look good or something? And then he gets the best looking one. Like, it's still kind of shabby, but he gets that one. I'm like, if I was going to get one, I would get that one. And he's like, oh, I'm just making soup. I could use any of these. You take it. And I don't know. I just got I think I turned red and ran away.
Okay, I have a theory. I think a big reason why a lot of women have lost touch with their divine feminine energy as we get older is because we live in a very masculine society. Especially if you were raised by a strong female mother figure, or maybe you had inconsistent parents, and therefore you were probably raised to be a strong female who had her guard up, who had to become this boss babe, and you have to work hard and do it all. But yet you still feel this deep sense of failure or disconnection because you are not connected to your heart and to your intuition. Because embracing your softness and feminine energy feels like an inconvenience. And this is something that I struggled with and why I started posting about this on TikTok. Femininity has been oppressed for far too long, and bringing balance back into our society is important for all of us, not just women.
Don't be a Miss Know-It-All. Just because you old and been around, got some wisdom, doesn't mean that you have to school anyone. You're not their teacher. Doesn't mean you have to suggest something better than they're talking about. Remember to stay feminine, because a lot of ladies lose their femininity as they get older. They lose that femininity when they get older because they're so used to, telling people what to do. They're in charge. They have lots of responsibility. So they have to make sure to remember to stay feminine. I used to go out with my sister back in the day, and she had an older friend, but her older friend was beautiful. She was always the best looking one out of all of us, and we were at least 10 years younger than her. So it's because she took care of herself. She made sure everything was in place. She wore nice clothes. Her hair was always done. Took care of her, nails and skin. And she was really beautiful. The men would actually prefer this chick over some of the younger ones because she looked like she cared about herself and that she was, not like the regular women her age.
When you don't live up to a patriarchal beauty standard, you are less seen and you are less heard because men are less willing to listen to women that they are not attracted to. Facts. And if they're too attracted to you, they won't listen to you because then they want to objectify you. So in every situation in our lives, we're constantly having to think about this shit and navigate this shit. And I think about how much emotional and mental energy and time has gone into that. So I went to see Muse, which is my favorite band in the world, the other day. It was dope. Evanescence performed first. And Amy Lee, who is just like, she will melt your face off with her music. She's so gifted as a vocalist. She went up on stage and she was singing, and immediately the guy behind, and she was fully covered head to toe, long dress, black, no skin, wasn't even tight, like flowy dress. She looked sick. Immediately the guys behind us, who was like a group of grown-ass men, oh, I have such a schmoner. I have a schmoner. She's so hot. I have a schmoner. Immediately start objectifying her in this disgusting fucking way. And I was like, this bitch is just going on stage and doing her job and singing, fully covered, might I add. Not that it's okay when she's not fully covered. And y'all immediately objectify her. You immediately cut her down to just her schmexuality. Like, you're immediately schmexualizing her. The next thing that was interesting to me was watching Matt Bellamy, who is the lead singer and player in Muse, who I just absolutely adore. He's amazing. And I have so many aspirations to play as well as he does. And I was thinking, as a female artist, so much of my time that should be spent practicing has to go to, how does my makeup look? How does my hair look? How does my styling look? How are people going to perceive this? If I wear this shirt, are they going to sexualize me? Are they going to not sexualize me? Like, all these things that I have to think about on a daily basis. Every time that I go to a meeting, I have to think about, what should I wear to get the result that I need out of this meeting? Because if I dress the wrong way, the man in power at the meeting probably won't give me what I need. That's what I have to think about every single time I do fucking anything, is how are people going to perceive this? Because I'm a woman, because I have curves, because no one will fucking listen to me if I don't present the way that they need me to present. That is the reality of being a woman.
This feminine energy thing has become a cult. Why can't women just be themselves without the fear of thinking they're losing their femininity? This is a good question, and I hear what you're saying, but I want to reiterate that you can do whatever you want. I have been coaching women for almost 15 years now, and let me tell you with absolute certainty that you rushing around, you living in this false sense of urgency and working 40 hours a week and commuting on top of that, and then taking care of the house and then taking care of the kids, all on top of that, that to me is way more culty than going back to nature. That's where I get my feminine energy inspiration from, is from nature, is from the creation energy, the mother energy, the great mother.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.